What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cousin Cecil Show. I am your host, Cousin Cecil, a.k.a. Mike Fowler. How are you doing this week? I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great week. Hopefully everything positive went your way and all that fun jazz. But yeah, not too bad a week. I mean, still getting used to this. It sounds dumb how I keep on saying it, but no, I'm getting used to this this new job. Seems all right. There's some perks and same old shit ideas at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I been a little busy, so obviously it's been a little light on the gaming. But also, you know what? It's been I've noticed this week was a pretty crappy gaming week, also. But yeah, more. What we are going to get into is obviously some of the bigger news topics of this week. But before that, I do want to do two quickfire Scout Comics reviews, because I did not forget them, I just didn't have time to put my effort into them compared to this week. So these ones are probably out now, at least. And I'll obviously put scoutcomics.com in the thread and all that fun jazz, so you can go order them through their website and all that stuff, or go to your local comic shop and all that fun jazz. But yeah, we'll go right off the get-go with this first one is from the Black Caravan imprint inside Scout Comics. This one's called Gods of Brutality. And here's the whole synopsis, like how we do. In 2020, rock god Nick Dillon will step off the stage for the final time, ending his 37-year career as the head of the metal band Gods of Brutality. They are about to release their final album, completing the story he set out to tell 37 years before. In his final interview, Nick reveals that when he died for 1 minute and 24 seconds in 1984, he was actually in hell, where he was tortured by demons, and in an act of desperation, Nick prayed to any god that would listen. Thankfully, his pleas were answered when Thor and Hercules were dispatched to save him. And this is the comic telling of that story. And this is written by Rich Woodall, and artist and looks like colorist also is Mark Welzer. And so as we do the 5-point scale, and to be honest, this gets a 2.5 out of 5. And it's not, honestly, it's just because it's not my bag. The art's really good. As you hear from the synopsis, it seems like a cool idea. It's just not my thing. But again, 2.5, close to 3. That's still in the middle of the road. Not saying anything bad. This, of course, can always go better down the road. But just in the first issue, it was just a miss for me. Not about probably what they're marketing. They're looking for, metalheads, or like some people are looking for like those over the top stories of a little bit of gore and stuff. But the art, I can at least say that the art-wise, it's been great. Like, you get the whole idea, I mean, of course, but yeah. I didn't want to keep on beating around the bush about like that, but no. 2.5, congratulations to the team. Not saying it bad in the sense, but again, it's just not my material to be like going ooh to. And then next is the Lunar Ladies, written by Omar Morales, art by Joel Kotjar, and then colorist is Renee Deliz. And here's the synopsis. 1 million years ago, in the outer space, a highly advanced society of women live under the surface of the moon. Their peaceful ways of living is quietly fracturing from inside as political ideologies pit the queens of the moon against a geneticists hell-bent on spurring the Queen's power. The Lunar Ladies is a homage to the public domain character Moon Girl, complete with Golden Age ray guns and laser rays. Pew pew. Without being around the bush, it's I actually didn't mind it. Just a little. I gave it a 3.5. 3 out of 5. Excuse me, 3 out of 5. I do really like the retro Golden Age style of art. I do understand the homage, and I really enjoyed it. I really dig it. But yeah, it just didn't hook me in like some others. I didn't say it when if I went to a comic shop, I'd pick it up. I'd still say it's a pickup, and also let you be the judge of if you want to keep it on your pull list. But it's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, there goes for that, and then also just more of a quick fire. This week we had like the Eisner Awards. Well, Eisner Awards are like some just more have some credit where credit's due awards through Comic-Con / it just gives authors and books under their belt some awards and all that stuff, and more just to more say, like the best writer of this year is apparently James Tynion IV. James Tynion is also the one who's writing Batman right now. He's also writing going to be a future TV show. Something's Killing the Children, Wind, and many others. But no, he got his credit where credit's due. But he won the best writer this year. What's another one? More just to say, excuse me, like the best cover artist of 2021 was Peach Momoko, which he's been doing a lot of the anime runs for Marvel for variant covers that have been getting really high values for collecting. Apparently, even a lot of the big winners is like Jimmy Olsen, like Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen book did. Superman Crushing the Klan won multiple awards. Also, Usagi Yojimbo, which is like basically a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not like the same adaptation of a book. Like that one, like the best ongoing series, and then like even the letterer won awards off that thing. But just more. Just to more say, because obviously we've been talking about comics and stuff in this show and stuff. But yeah. What else? Another thing that's been going on with me. I guess today in particular, I did go to GameStop and I picked up Sacboy Big Adventure and PS5's version of Judgment. I didn't start Judgment, but I did start Sacboy. And it's all right now. I'm only 3 levels in, and I can see where it's fun. I can see also where some people say it gets a little dry, but also like for me, I think I'm going to enjoy it. I'll give you another update on it next week, but because I think I'm just looking for like that brain dead, like let's get in there, collect some stuff. Especially since I know Sacboy's Big Adventure does use like the PS5's guide system, so that we can we can get some trophies hunting going on because of it has guides, and I enjoy that. I do like that little perk of the PlayStation 5. But and I played some Fortnite. Fortnite has definitely been going. For me, it's a little stagnant. Others might say it's stale, but I do like this invasion. For some reason, I think it's just because of you feel more. There's a lot more flying. There's a lot more jumping around, and not jumping like I'm not no acrobatic shotgunner. I'm talking about you start from what's that beach town? The beach, that beach hotel area. You could literally do a hop, skip, and jump if there's the right way of UFOs and stuff. You can get to Lazy Lake in like 3 minutes. And like in distance wise, that's a long wise unless you're in a car. I'm talking about with like traversal or like gliding from all the different little jumpy stuff that they've been adding to this to make it more mobility. I've been enjoying it. We're about 20 days before Superman unlocks. Looking forward to that, just to have that skin. And then, but yeah, I've been doing some reading and more trying to get up to date with some like digital comics. Hopefully, I'm like up to date now with Swamp Thing. And Swamp Thing! I'm telling you, just like all those creator conversations I have on this bonus episodes. If you like Swamp Thing, you can definitely say I am a comic book fan, and not because of like Swamp Thing's not even like a big brain conversation of this thing. But if you enjoy that story, you're definitely in the zone. You should be You should have your local comic book shop and all that fun jazz. And then what is another thing that kind of... No, we're still in that weird moment of waiting for more Infinite Frontier news. But no, I also... that's another thing. I do enjoy the Superman versus and the Authority book one. It's still very... what's the word? Like, there's no real drawn plan of, like, what's the outcome coming. Like, he's just gathering the Authority, or his new version of the Authority, and issue 1 only has Manchester Black for one of the people. So, you know, it's still up in the air of, like, what's that going to pray tale the comic's going to be, especially since it's only 4 issues. But I did enjoy it. I'm not saying like that, but I think it's also just because of having Grant Morrison back at the helm for, like a Superman book. So it was really good to hear. But all right. Other than that, let's get into the gaming news. And basically, some other more news came out of the limelight about the Steam Deck. Before we get into the bigger news, Steam Deck is focusing on trying to be like their base frame rate they're trying to work on is 30 frames per second. Of course, they sold it during the pre-order. Oh yeah, you can lower the graphics and get higher frame rates. But right now, I don't know if like they're trying to re-step that conversation, because of course I might be hearing like there was distress about that, but also that could be from me following fanboys and stuff. So I don't want to say that's the quote unquote news, but focusing on 30 frames per second for a handheld seems fine to me. I mean, of course, we're in this weird generation of like, even like I didn't know this when they did the pre-order, but like only like not all the first-person shooters are supported on the Steam Deck just as of yet. Like you can't play Apex on a Steam Deck, I believe. You can't play some of the other faster first-person shooters, especially probably in the Battle Royale sense. I'm assuming Fortnite can, since that is on on mobile. But yeah, that's basically it. And then also, I didn't know that I got Xbox. You won this one for this at this moment in time. They have another quote-unquote launch exclusive that I wanted, just like the what was it, Call of the Sea? That puzzle game of the back with like the possible like like Black Lagoon monster. Death's Door came out on, or has been getting got very high reviews. Probably like the highest reviewed game on the Xbox is like ecosystem that's exclusively quote unquote on their ecosystem right now. It looks great. I mean, I don't know how long it is, because I saw that somebody even posted finished, and like that was within this week. But of course, they're influencers, or the idea of like they have a lot more time to game. But it looks great. I never thought it was going to be a dud. I thought I'm more happy to see that I got like a 9 out of 10 on IGN. Makes me more excited to know down the road. I'm hoping. I'm also just talking right now, hoping that it is coming to PlayStation. But I'm assuming it is. I think it's just a launch exclusive. But I really can't wait for it. Hopefully it comes out around October. Hopefully it's not that long of a exclusive window. But yeah. And then well, let's get out the big elephant in the room. Apparently there has been a 2-year investigation through the state of California and like their Department of basically like fair treatment and housing, like the same field, to Activision Blizzard. And I felt a little confused at the beginning, but then I figured out it's out of Blizzard Studios. Because obviously when I hear Activision Blizzard, I think of the big conglomerate of, I was like, oh, are these accusations coming out of like Treyarch? Is this coming out of Infinity War? But no, it's coming out of Blizzard. And long story short, there has been a 2-year investigation going down that apparently has come to fruition that Blizzard is definitely highly toxic and they are running a frat boy mentality at their studio that have pressured women that work there into they get mistreated. They're getting lower paid jobs for the same work. Some also have obviously quit, which is obviously, this is how that works. Well, then one in particular that happened in this investigation that's very sickening and kind of fucked up is a lady who has had history of sexual harassment. Not, just stick with me. Decided to end her life after a business trip that involved one of her supervisors having butt plugs and lubricant on a business trip. And obviously that's just that probably was the cherry on top of her depression, her anxiety. So not just talk about her. Some of the other codes of Activision Blizzard was apparently the men were allowed to come in hungover, pressure, push off work towards to other people in their department, hey. And then they'd also even directed onto on their women workers. Hey, Denise, will you do these levels? I'm just going to drift off because I'm hungover. Or come in drunk. Are they allowed to do these weird things that the investigation has said was cubicle crawls where they get to act drunk or go around and mistreat women in their own cubicles and grope. I've heard there's accusations of groping and all this terrible stuff. And honestly, it's pretty fucked up. And I'm not saying oh guys, you should let's take another step back. Activision Blizzard canceled one of their back. Remember when someone said free Hong Kong and they canceled that person and lost them all their money, people money and all that shit. And they're oopsie. And then now this and the idea of they're acting like they're they sound like they're the last studio, which I'm probably paraphrasing because there probably are more that are doing this shit. But they have that weird 90s mentality of oh, it's time to chill. We're gonna fucking get bitches and make money. Of how Blizzard, it's so crazy to hear that this is going on. Well, of the sexual harassment, I guess. Sounds so bizarre that it's been so silenced. And also the investigation it goes into is because some of the directors that are being accused are buddy with HR. They are buddy with people who do the actual punishment. And you can look up more and you should, I think just for the benefit of, like, as a consumer, I think this is even good to go read up on the actual full-blown report. There's also, like, you can go to Yang Wei, he's like a YouTube gaming news YouTube video. He does a really good job of, he's made maybe 3 to 4 videos on this topic each day, like either this or the Rebuttal, which was like, the Rebuttal was the most puzzle, like, just connect the dots, color in the fucking numbers of, like, oh, we'll go do better at Blizzard. Sorry. And, like, the idea of, like, just this, and then, like, some of the women workers are actually using this time to actually open up and express their feelings. But it's just, I am saying it as a nice way of saying it until further notice, which I'm glad I'm not that person that goes, but, like, hearing this news and, like, hearing, like, because right now it's all accusations, because it's not, we'll be American. You're innocent till proven guilty. So there's not been no court case yet to say it is. But honestly, this is, like, they're also, let's not even go into, like, the sexual harassment, because that's where I was going to cancel. I don't have anything pre-ordered or nothing. But I'm not going to probably I'm not going to buy anything from Blizzard in a very long time until I see some updates that are really, so, like, we're just not get that into is because they have been also doing some shitty business stuff also that's been coming out, like the World of Warcraft 3 remaster or something, Reforged. They started taking pre-orders when the game wasn't even ready yet, because they know that they just wanted to get the money right now. Apparently, that's another bad business thing in my eyes. But back to what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, like, I was excited for Diablo 4. Yeah, 4. And now, and not, it's, I might sound like wokey or maybe like snowflakey or whatever the fucking adjective of the year is. But, like, this is some fucked up, it's some messed up stuff to have this kind of system going on. And, like, even, like, there's people been finding videos of, like, previous of, like, the director in particular, because I can't remember the guy's name, who was definitely the main purpose of this accusations, like, going on to, like, it was like a Q&A with, like, a girl came up to the Q&A at, like, a E3, we'll say E3, I think it's probably BlizzCon, but she's like, hey, I just was wondering, somewhere down the road, are you guys ever going to make any women characters that maybe not look like they came straight out of a Victoria's Secret catalog? And the guy kind of rebutted with, well, what catalog do you want them from? And all, like, you know, just kind of, like, work the crowd so that they do that toxic masculinity. Boo, get this girl off the microphone. Boo, we like all the pin up big booby fucking shit. But, like, the idea of, it goes in, like, even the Ubisoft shit. But the Blizzard one definitely sounds worse because, like, how would I word it? They're all bad. But the idea that there were safety nets on safety nets for the people that were doing the wrongdoing. And, like, the idea that also, like, Blizzard in particular is definitely money hungry to, like, even, like, go with these, like Chinese government thing and all that stuff, and, like, cancel because they're like, oh no, someone says that they, you know, shut off all this shit and do some really weird dirty stuff. And, like, done, like, the past 2 BlizzCons have been, like, basically, like, riding on coattails saying sorry, but at the same time give us money ideas. So I'm just tired of it. You know what I mean? It's just weird. And then, yeah, honestly, that was, like, really the big catch of the week of conversation. I think another thing that came out this week was, in particular about China, was, like, Sumo Digital, the guys who made Sacboy Adventures, are being bought out by Tencent, and, like, for, like, I think for, like, $1 billion. So, I mean, I know there's probably a big studio and all that stuff. And they've obviously done a lot of work. And like, they're big in the sense of, like, they probably have multiple, maybe like they're probably like a three studio. So obviously, like, they have 3 different location size, factory of studio development. But Tencent bought them, and then I'm not 100% sure how I feel about, because I know that, like, because I've not really listened to anybody, so I just look at headlines and tweets. But I see, like, obviously Colin Moriarty has been beating the drum about we should be actually really questioning and worrying about, like, why so much of, like, the Chinese government of, like, I guess obviously they're communistic and stuff, but, like, why are they putting so many fingers into media for all the rest of the countries? You know what I mean? It's like goes into, like, they'll become like the masters of censoring and all that stuff. So I'm not getting here nor there, but it is a questioning of, like, what's the end goal for that? But yeah, that's basically for those 2 stories. Because I didn't really want to get into that shit. Because obviously, just more. I mean, how do I word it? They're from Sumo Digital from UK. So I mean, obviously, it ain't gonna. I guess it's good. I mean, it means obviously people keep their jobs, but I don't know what to feel about Tencent buying them, because I know that, like, a couple years back we were rooting for Ubisoft to stay independent against, like, the Tencent possible try to acquire them movement. So now, but then obviously for certain other things it's okay, but some other ones are not. So it's just really confusing on that end. But I mean, there's some really weird thing. The Blizzard thing really got me up in arms thinking about, like, this some fucked up shit going on. But let's not leave the Cousin Cecil show on those rough notes, because I also just did a quick double check on everything. Let's leave on some positive gaming parts that seem kind of interesting, and I'm kind of excited to see when the news or when these games come out. So Ubisoft this week also had a surprise announcement trailer for a new free-to-play shooter that is more like Call of Duty multiplayer, but with a Tom Clancy twist. And it's called Tom Clancy X Defiant. I think it's X Defiant. So it's, and this is me making a bad analogy, I believe. But let's have Call of Duty maps, of multiplayer maps, not Warzone. Call of Duty multiplayer maps with Apex Legend characters have a baby. Because with the Tom Clancy style, well, no, I guess it'd be more like Siege. Let's have Siege characters, so people with perks and classes and their own special things go on a Call of Duty multiplayer map and shoot each other in a first-person shooter. That, to be honest, the trailer didn't look that bad, but also at the same time, I think what's good about it is because they're being, it's one of those parts that I feel iffy on about but it's free to play, so it doesn't seem, it has a very obviously cheap opening to get your foot in idea, so that's great to hear. But I think right now, like, this summer we'll have the beta. I think it's going to come out this fall. It doesn't look terrible. It's obviously going to be on all consoles, all PC, excuse me. So, but yeah, it looked good. I've just more wanted to shed a light on it because I think the trailer came out, looked cool, but then all these Blizzard accusations took the limelight of games journalism to, let's talk about really adult stuff. And then also this week, which another thing that overshadowed this news was EA had another EA Play, because the past 2 weeks they've been having once a week, and some of them weren't, like, one was like a Madden heavy. One of them was I forgot what it was, but like an indie showcase that was not an indie showcase like how we've done on the Cousin Cecil show. Break it down. But this one was the closest one to it. This week had WWE superstar Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed, as the host, and they kind of went through the whole EA catalog of this year. So like it had like news about updates on Knockout City, that dodgeball game. The EA original, the indie show, like Lost in Shadows, that one that has the clay looking girl that throws dice. Like that's one of those it would be still under the Unravel category of EA. And then they had a big announcement with Battlefield, which actually I forgot that. Yeah, this definitely probably maybe secured my pre-order. I was kind of iffy on if I was going to buy Battlefield or not, but so they announced at this EA Play that Battlefield 2042 will have this new mode called Battlefield Portal. So, Battlefield Portal is basically a creative mode. So, I think it's a really smart move because obviously I think it's definitely shows, like if you thought multiplayer only was a double down idea, having Battlefield Portal included is like a triple down into we are just trying for multiplayer. Because then now we have, of course, the regular Warzone. I don't think it's called Warzone. Conquest and like all that stuff. But now you can have a creative mode where the community can make different modes. Like the ones that they highlighted was like 1942 soldiers going against advanced year, like 2042 soldiers. Or like the idea of, I could be wrong, but let's say it's 2042 army, like 18 people versus one tank. Okay. Or the one that got me excited, and also like the guy at GameStop today told me, they did knives versus defibrillators mode. So, and I was telling the guy at the GameStop today, I'm like, you know what, that actually did sell me, because also I'm like, you know what? I'm like, this might show my age, but like, I don't think, I told them, I'm going to say the whole conversation. I'm like, I don't know if like SWAT is the best term I'm looking for, but like, if Battlefield Portal can get you like a Battlefield version of like Halo 3's like zombie sharks, that'd be really cool. And like the idea of it definitely keeps the game fresh for the player base. Plus also knowing that they are going to have quarterly DLC or battle passes, however they're going to say it. But that Portal one definitely caught my eye because like, you know damn well someone's going to make a creative mode like all natural storm or effects. So you're going to be like in a... Because like there's a map right now that's going to have a tornado going on. But like I bet money someone's going to create... Well, it's going to do it with 3 tornadoes going on. And also a napalm attack. Or something, you know what I mean? Something goes over the top because the Portal also gives you access to older Battlefield styles. So like we said... You could have like a World War II team versus this. So it looks very promising. And then definitely this is the crown jewel of surprises. Well, of a confirmation of something that obviously was a grub fucker scoop. But they confirmed Dead Space 1 is getting remastered and a built from the ground up remake. And they only showed like a 30-second trailer of completely nothing, just a hallway and then like in the shadows and like with like, you know, like a one little light bulb on top showing a necromorph. But it got me excited. Oh, it did show Isaac too on the back, like his back health gauge filling up. I love Dead Space. I don't think I've had this conversation, but no, if I would have had it my way, Isaac was definitely a name I was thinking about for a son. But no, I have also like the Dead Space, the first Dead Space book. I think they have multiple ones now. But I was a big fan of Dead Space. I have still the light ray gun from Dead Space 2's collector's edition. But one thing I did notice it's a good conversation. Should they have done the remake, or just do a remastered Legendary Edition style of Dead Space 1 through 3 and see where the community is? And to my personal feelings, maybe it's me prepared to be a sucker, but I do like this remastered remake idea compared to the other one, so that how would I word it? This will also give the studio its own chance to give us their feeling, because Visceral, who made Dead Space, is no more. Studio heads from Visceral are in the Calypso Effect game, which is a Dead Space predecessor. So if we want that game style of Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 from the Visceral idea, we have Calypso coming out sooner than later, probably in 2022. But you know what I'm saying? We have a game coming out if you want to have the more feeling. But I think this is a good move for whatever. I don't remember what studio was doing this for EA. But if this sells, this gives us a frame of like, hey, I like their touches they did for Dead Space Remake. I can't wait for their touches that they do Dead Space 2 Remake. But I think that's the best way to do it, so that we don't have, how would I word it? It'd be like the idea of like, if we got like a Nathan Drake remastered, or I guess this would be the perfect idea. It's like if we had, no, that was also BioWare 2, but the idea of, if you had the remaster come out and then we had a new game come out and it's from a new studio, it feels different, we'd all complain. So I think this is actually a good move for EA and for the Dead Space franchise, because I love them, and I forgot I should have pre-ordered it without even knowing. I was going to do it point blank, take my money, because I love Dead Space that much. But yeah, that looks good. Definitely, the games are piping out. It's a little slower than I like, but also, hey, COVID's happening. COVID's happening in some parts of the country, some places they're not, and then around the world, it's still going on at a weird rate of like what is going on. So, but I do know one thing though. I forgot to also buy. I want to buy that new. What's the company that makes it? But that Last Stop is Last Stop created by the creators of. Is it a Focus game? I don't think so. But I'll touch base on that next week. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I wish I had more time, but also like maybe I don't want to say nothing on here. We'll see how this new year of Cousin Cecil, because this is obviously 52, but you know what I mean. It's been I'm walking into a new year of the Cousin Cecil show. There might be some new changes coming around. There might be also things maybe I'll do again. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. And then obviously we'll leave off with hot picks. Oh, and then that's another conversation to have too. Never mind. Well, we have it right here. This week's hot pick is for TV is the He-Man and Master of the Universe Revelations, and it's only 5 episodes. I honestly don't see the real big humbug that is going on the internet. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's also, I do think it's a little boldy for them for part 1, which is 5 episodes, like I said, to choose to go down this pathway and hope newcomers and hope these older people to stick with it to get to even part 2 that might be more heavy with the actual Master of the Universe. Well, like the He-Man parts. That's all I want to say. Besides, I'm saying it's a hot pick. Cousin Cecil Show agrees on it, so I'm just saying I like it. For music this week, it's going to be Better Believe by Belly, The Weeknd, and Young Thug. And I'm going to give it 2. This was almost the number 1 for this week. And I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. But it's not that bad. Lil Nas X with Jack Harlow, Industry Baby. And then for comics, well, of course, like we do on every hot pick for this are just issue 1s that are coming out, so you should look into jump onto. For DC, it's Batman Secret Files Huntress issue 1. Icon and Rocket issue 1, season 1 is coming out this week. And then probably the biggest comic coming out this week is Superman, Son of Kal-El by Tom Taylor, who is within 5 issues of Nightwing, has been already declared by fans. He is doing the best run of Nightwing in a very long time. So, and then he is definitely he's also been doing Batman the Detective, which is a 6-issue little series that we've been reading. Very interesting, but this is definitely going to be the first of a new thing with him. Definitely is going to be moving some shit around. And then, of course, the rest of the... but yeah. And then, for an Image comic, Sweet Paprika. Looks kind of adult humor, like Harley Quinn style, but it's with like a little girl demon. And then for Marvel, Amazing Fantasies issue 1, and by Vault, The Last Book You'll Ever Read issue 1. So a little more horror coming out because you're getting closer to the Halloween time and all that fun jazz. And yeah, and of course there's always, go to your local comic shop, get one. 2, 3, make a pull list. And 4, look up those preview books. And then that's probably the best way to get them for those stores. Because sometimes your local comic shop are little closets of a building like mine, which I don't like. So you have to know what's going on or listen to the Cousin Cecil Show way too late. Because obviously I do mine for the new book that's coming out this week. Because usually those books need 3 months in advance, or at least a month. You know, give your comic book shop a chance to get the order for you. But yeah, and then that's basically me. Thank you guys for listening, and also I forgot to also say there's fuck it, nothing else. Like we say every week, be good to each other. I'll catch you next week. Peace.